The vast emptiness of space flickered with the silent tension of approaching conflict. The USS Defiance moved with calculated precision, its sleek hull cutting through the dark like a knife of human determination. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that mapped the complex star system ahead. Around him, the crew worked with quiet efficiency. Hannah Kim, the first officer, monitored communication channels that buzzed with alien chatter. Her fingers moved quickly across the translators, decoding the nervous conversations of defense networks that were slowly becoming aware of the human vessel's approach. The ship was unlike anything the galactic community had seen before. Its design broke every conventional rule of spaceship engineering. Sun Lee, the chief engineer, had spent years developing technologies that seemed to laugh in the face of traditional physics. Quantum adaptive shields, neural-linked weapon systems, and a propulsion method that could change course faster than most species could comprehend. Wu Choi, the tactical officer, watched the incoming sensor data with a calm that bordered on mathematical precision. The alien defense grid was massive, a network of interconnected battle stations and sensor arrays that had held dominion over this sector for centuries. They had never been challenged, never been truly tested. The USS Defiance was about to change that. Multiple tracking signals, Hannah announced, her voice steady. They've detected us. Captain Park simply nodded. This was exactly what they expected. The aliens believed themselves invincible, protected by technologies they thought were unbeatable. They didn't understand the human capacity for innovation, for pushing beyond known limitations. Jean Kwan, the navigation officer, made micro-adjustments to their approach. Each movement was calculated, each shift of trajectory a carefully planned strategy. The ship seemed to dance between potential threat zones, moving with a fluidity that defied traditional space navigation. The alien communication networks began to light up. Hundreds of communication channels suddenly burst with activity. Translations scrolled across secondary screens, messages of confusion, then growing concern, then outright panic. A single human vessel was approaching their most heavily defended sector, and it showed no signs of stopping or changing course. Defensive formations activating, Wu reported, his fingers dancing across tactical displays. They're preparing standard intercept protocols. Standard. The word made Captain Park almost smile. Humans were anything but standard. The ship's experimental systems hummed with potential. Sensors that could read quantum fluctuations, weapon systems that could adapt faster than an opponent could calculate, shielding technology that could absorb and redirect energy in ways previously thought impossible. They weren't just a warship. They were a message. Decades of being viewed as a young, primitive species had led to this moment. Humanity had been watching, learning, developing technologies in secret. While other galactic civilizations believed humans were still struggling with basic space travel, teams of scientists and military strategists had been pushing the boundaries of what was possible. The USS Defiance represented years of hidden development, of technology so advanced it would rewrite understanding of spacefaring capabilities. Incoming transmission, Hannah said, her voice cutting through the tension. The alien message was clear: turn back, or be destroyed. Captain Park's response was equally clear, a slight adjustment of their trajectory that showed absolute commitment to their path. They were coming. Nothing would stop them. The first wave of defensive weapons began to charge. The star system ahead became a complex web of potential conflict, with the small human vessel moving steadily forward, a single point of determination against an overwhelming network of alien defense. No one on the bridge spoke. They didn't need to. Each crew member understood their role, their purpose. They weren't just flying a ship. They were representing an entire species ready to prove its worth on the galactic stage. The USS Defiance continued its approach, a silent promise of what was to come. The first energy blast erupted from the alien defense network, a massive pulse of destructive power that would have vaporized any known spacecraft. But the USS Defiance was not like any known spacecraft. Wu Choi's hands moved with lightning speed across the tactical console. The ship's quantum adaptive shields flickered, not with weakness, but with calculated absorption. Where another vessel would have been destroyed, the Defiance simply transformed the incoming energy, redirecting its massive power into a counter-response. Captain J. Park watched the initial attack with clinical detachment. This was exactly what their simulations had predicted. The alien defensive network operated on predictable patterns, rigid mathematical calculations that left no room for unexpected variables. Humans were the unexpected variable. Energy redirection at 87% efficiency, Sun Lee reported from the engineering station. His voice carried a hint of professional pride. Years of secret research were now being tested in real combat conditions. The alien battlecruisers began to cluster, their massive forms moving with mechanical precision. They expected the human ship to break, to scatter, to show fear. Instead, the USS Defiance moved with liquid grace, each movement a calculated dance of technological superiority. Jean Quan's navigation skills transformed the massive warship into something almost alive. Where traditional spacecraft would make linear movements, the Defiance seemed to flow, sliding between potential attack vectors with impossible smoothness. The alien targeting systems struggled to lock onto a consistent trajectory. Hannah Kim monitored the communication channels. The alien military networks were flooding with confused transmissions. Their standard combat protocols were failing. A single human vessel was not just surviving, it was systematically dismantling their defensive strategy. The first alien battlecruiser fired its secondary weapons, a cascade of high-energy plasma designed to overwhelm any known shielding system. The USS Defiance absorbed the blast, its outer hull momentarily glowing with transferred energy before dispersing the massive power output. "Weapons systems charging," Wu announced. This would not be a defensive engagement. They were about to show the galaxy what human technology could truly do. The ship's experimental pulse cannons began to activate. These were not traditional energy weapons. Each pulse was a complex quantum-entangled system that could simultaneously exist in multiple attack configurations. The alien ships wouldn't just be hit, they would be strategically dismantled. Captain Park gave a single command. Just 2 words that would change galactic understanding forever. Initiate response. The USS Defiance transformed from a defensive position to an offensive powerhouse. Its first targeted pulse cut through an alien battlecruiser's primary defense grid with surgical precision. Not destruction through brute force, but systematic technological superiority. The alien defensive network started to realize they were facing something entirely unexpected. This was not a simple encounter with a young spacefaring species. This was a technological revolution happening in real time. More battlecruisers moved to intercept. Their weapons charged, their formations tightening. They believed overwhelming numbers would compensate for their failing strategies. They were wrong. Each alien attack was met with a response that seemed to defy the known laws of combat physics. The USS Defiance wasn't just defending, it was learning, adapting, transforming the very nature of the engagement with each passing moment. Sun Lee's engineering systems were performing beyond designed parameters. Quantum algorithms were processing threat data faster than the alien computational networks could calculate defensive responses. The ship was becoming a living, thinking weapon. Multiple targets neutralized, Wu reported, his voice calm and professional. The first encounter was transforming into a clear demonstration. Humanity was not just another species to be overlooked. They were a technological force that would reshape galactic understanding. The USS Defiance continued its advance, each movement a statement of human potential, each weapon pulse a declaration of technological evolution. The galaxy was about to change. And it would happen right here, in this moment of first contact. The battle transformed into something beyond traditional warfare. Alien scientists watching the engagement couldn't comprehend what they were seeing. The USS Defiance wasn't just fighting, it was learning, adapting, evolving in real time. Sun Lee's experimental systems were performing miracles. Each incoming alien weapon signature was instantly analyzed, broken down into quantum-level data points, and then transformed into a defensive or offensive strategy. The ship's computational core worked faster than entire alien research networks. Signal analysis complete, Wu Choi announced, his fingers dancing across multiple holographic interfaces. The tactical systems were rewriting combat algorithms with each millisecond of engagement. What the aliens considered advanced technology looked like primitive tools compared to human innovation. Captain J. Park observed the transformation with clinical precision. This wasn't just a battle, it was a demonstration of human potential. Years of secret research, countless nights of engineering breakthroughs, were now playing out in the vast emptiness of space. The alien defensive network began to panic. Their communication channels flooded with desperate transmissions. They were watching a single human vessel systematically dismantle technologies that had remained unchallenged for centuries. Jean Quan's navigation skills turned the massive warship into a living weapon. Where traditional spacecraft moved in predictable patterns, the USS Defiance flowed like liquid, anticipating threat vectors before the alien systems could calculate them. Each movement was a mathematical symphony of technological superiority. Hannah Kim monitored the communication networks. The translations revealed growing fear among the alien command structures. They were realizing this wasn't just an unexpected encounter, this was a fundamental challenge to their understanding of technological warfare. The ship's quantum adaptive shields did more than protect. They absorbed incoming energy, analyzed its complex signature, and then used that same energy as a weapon. Each alien attack made the USS Defiance stronger, more intelligent, more dangerous. Energy redirection at 94% efficiency, Sung Lee reported. His voice carried a mixture of scientific excitement and professional calm. The experimental systems were performing beyond their most optimistic simulations. Alien battlecruisers tried multiple attack strategies. Concentrated energy pulses. Coordinated multi-vector assaults. Weapons that had decimated countless civilizations. The USS Defiance treated these attacks like simple mathematical equations to be solved. The breakthrough wasn't just technological. It was a fundamental reimagining of what was possible. Humanity wasn't just participating in galactic conflict, they were rewriting the rules of engagement. Wu Choi's tactical systems began generating attack sequences that seemed to defy known physics. Weapon pulses that could simultaneously exist in multiple attack configurations. Defensive strategies that anticipated threats before they were even initiated. Multiple alien computational networks experiencing systematic failure, Hannah reported. The communication channels were becoming chaotic, filled with confusion and growing terror. Captain Park watched the engagement with calm determination. This was more than a military mission. This was a statement about human potential, about the capacity for innovation that had been overlooked for generations. The USS Defiance continued its advance. Each moment revealed another layer of technological sophistication. Alien defense systems that had remained unchallenged for centuries were being systematically dismantled by a single human vessel. Sung Lee's engineering systems were performing miracles. The ship was literally learning, its computational core adapting faster than the alien networks could respond. What should have been a simple encounter was transforming into a fundamental challenge to galactic technological understanding. "We're not just fighting," Captain Park said quietly, more to himself than the crew. "We're teaching them what humanity can do." The technological breakthrough was complete. The USS Defiance had done more than survive. It had demonstrated that humanity was not just another young species to be overlooked. They were a technological force that would reshape galactic understanding. The battle continued. But now, it was clear who was truly in control. The aftermath of the battle hung in space like a silent promise of change. The USS Defiance emerged from the conflict not just victorious, but transformative. Alien observation posts watched in stunned silence as the human vessel completed its mission with surgical precision. The Galactic Council convened in an emergency session. Holographic displays showed the complete destruction of their most advanced defensive network, defeated by a single human ship. Centuries of established military doctrine crumbled in moments. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, reviewing the mission logs. Hannah Kim processed the communication transcripts that were now spreading across multiple star systems. What had begun as a simple military engagement had become something much larger, a fundamental reshaping of galactic understanding. Wu Choi's tactical analysis revealed the true extent of their technological breakthrough. The USS Defiance hadn't just won a battle, it had demonstrated a level of technological innovation that challenged everything known about spacefaring capabilities. Sung Lee's experimental systems had performed beyond all scientific expectations. The ship's quantum adaptive technologies had effectively rewritten the rules of space combat. Alien scientists were struggling to comprehend the technological leap they had just witnessed. Incoming diplomatic transmissions, Hannah announced, her fingers moving across the communication interfaces. The tone was no longer hostile. Fear had transformed into a desperate desire to understand. The galactic communication networks buzzed with analysis. What had once been dismissive chatter about humanity now carried a tone of profound respect. A single vessel had challenged and dismantled technologies that had remained unchallenged for centuries. Jean Quan plotted their return course with calculated precision. The USS Defiance wasn't just returning home. It was carrying a message that would reshape interstellar relationships for generations to come. Multiple alien diplomatic channels opened simultaneously. They were no longer seeking to destroy. They wanted to negotiate, to understand, to learn. Humanity had gone from being viewed as a primitive species to a potential technological partner in moments. Captain Park understood the deeper significance. This wasn't just a military victory. It was a declaration of human potential. Years of secret research, technological development, and strategic planning had culminated in this single moment. The ship's computational systems continued to process the massive amount of data collected during the engagement. Each analysis revealed new layers of technological innovation that would take alien researchers decades to fully comprehend. Alien research networks began requesting communication protocols. They wanted to understand how a single human vessel could demonstrate such advanced technological capabilities. The USS Defiance had become more than a ship, it was a symbol of human innovation. Preparing mission report, Hannah Kim stated, her fingers moving across the documentation systems. This would be more than a standard military report. This would be a document that would be studied across multiple civilizations. The galactic recalibration was complete. Humanity was no longer an overlooked species. They were a technological force that demanded respect, understanding, and recognition. As the USS Defiance turned towards Earth, it carried with it the promise of a new era. The ship had done more than win a battle. It had opened a new chapter in human galactic relations. Wu Choi's final tactical assessment said it all: mission accomplished. Humanity's potential demonstrated. Captain J. Park allowed himself a slight smile. They had done more than complete a mission. They had changed everything. The vast emptiness of space seemed to pause, acknowledging the moment of transformation. The USS Defiance continued its journey home, a silent testament to human innovation, determination, and potential. The galaxy would never be the same again.